What happens when power and money clash with justice in a quiet American town? Welcome to Silverton, a place where one man thought he was untouchable, until he wasn't. Meet Harold Klein, a wealthy businessman who controlled almost every aspect of life in this peaceful town, from the local government to the economy. For years, his influence went unchallenged, and his dark secrets remained buried. But when a small-town reporter, driven by a thirst for truth, starts digging, the fragile walls of power begin to crumble. As the truth unravels, the people of Silverton are forced to confront the corruption they've allowed to fester. Will justice prevail, or will Harold's grip on the town prove too strong? If you enjoy stories of justice, redemption, and small-town drama, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more thrilling tales like this one. Silverton may appear peaceful, even idyllic, from the outside. Its tree-lined streets, friendly faces, and charming small-town vibes. But beneath its calm surface, dark shadows lurk. The kind of shadows cast by power, money, and a dangerous sense of invincibility. Enter Darius King, a man who has everything: wealth, status, and an unshakable belief that the rules don't apply to him. Darius has spent years exploiting his family ties to secure his untouchable position. His brother Marcus is the chief of police, a powerful ally in a town where law and order are often a matter of convenience. Together, they've built an empire of influence, using manipulation and fear to silence anyone who dares speak out against them. Whether it's bending the law to get what he wants, or bullying anyone who gets in his way, Darius has built a legacy of corruption that spans generations. In Silverton, it's not the law that holds sway, but the King family. Public perception? Fear and silence reign. Residents of this quiet town whisper about Darius's wrongdoings, but the truth never escapes into the light. He's too powerful, too connected, and too dangerous. But even the most untouchable empires can be shaken. Sometimes, it just takes one person to bring the darkness into the light. In stark contrast to Darius King's powerful empire, Officer Robert Thompson stands as a beacon of integrity in Silverton. Young, honest, and hardworking, Robert is the kind of cop who believes in fairness, duty, and justice above all else. Coming from humble beginnings, he knows the struggles of the average citizen, and that drives his passion to protect and serve with a sense of equality for all. Unlike those in power who manipulate the system for their own gain, Robert's moral compass is unwavering, and he strives to be the kind of officer who makes a difference in the community. But despite his best efforts, the growing tension in Silverton is palpable. Citizens are beginning to feel a sense of helplessness as the King family's grip on the town tightens. Fear holds them back, but whispers of discontent are beginning to grow louder. The people are starting to realize that things cannot stay the way they are forever. The corrupt system has allowed Darius King to thrive unchecked for far too long, and change is becoming more urgent with each passing day. Amidst this brewing unrest, there's a quiet hope stirring in the hearts of Silverton's residents. They long for justice, for someone to stand up to the King family and their reign of fear. Robert Thompson may be their last hope, if he can summon the courage to take on a system that has silenced so many before him. The tension in Silverton reaches a boiling point when Darius King confronts Officer Robert Thompson in the middle of a crowded street. With a cold, menacing smile, Darius subtly brandishes a hidden gun, the sleek metal glinting in the sunlight as he tries to intimidate the young officer. His voice oozes arrogance as he taunts Thompson, believing his wealth and influence will be enough to bend the situation in his favor, just as it always has. But this time, Robert stands his ground. Calm, professional, and unwavering, he doesn't flinch. His eyes stay locked on Darius, his hand resting near his holstered weapon, ready to act, but not with fear, with resolve. The air crackles with the kind of tension only a standoff like this could bring. Bystanders, some with their phones out, record the unfolding scene, capturing the rare moment when the King family's iron grip on the town might finally be challenged. Sirens wail in the distance, growing louder with each passing second. Backup is on the way, and Darius knows the game is changing. The power shift is palpable. What was once his town, his domain, is slipping away. The moment of dominance Darius so confidently expected quickly turns into a moment of reckoning as he finds himself surrounded by officers. For the first time, he's no longer in control. The people of Silverton are watching, and their eyes no longer look up to him with fear. This could be the end of his reign, and the beginning of something much bigger. News of the standoff between Darius King and Officer Robert Thompson spreads like wildfire through Silverton, leaving the town both shocked and inspired. The once silenced whispers of discontent evolve into voices of hope, as the people realize that their town, which had long been ruled by fear and corruption, might finally be on the path to change. The truth that Darius was not untouchable has ignited a spark of resistance, and the community begins to see a future where justice prevails over power. Meanwhile, Marcus King, caught in a moral dilemma, faces a choice he never thought he would have to make: loyalty to his family or his duty to uphold the law. For years, he's turned a blind eye to his brother's wrongdoing, but seeing the way Officer Thompson stood up to Darius forces Marcus to reevaluate everything he stood for. In a pivotal moment, Marcus chooses justice over blood ties, publicly supporting the investigation into his brother's crimes. His decision shakes the foundation of the King family's power, but also signals a shift within the town's leadership. The community, now galvanized by the courage of one man, rallies behind Officer Thompson. He's no longer just a cop. He's a symbol of hope and integrity. Town meetings are quickly organized, where citizens come together to discuss how to rebuild the trust that had been shattered under the weight of corruption. Silverton is no longer a town held captive by fear. It's a town beginning to heal, with a renewed sense of unity and justice. Officer Thompson's bravery has lit the way, and the people of Silverton are ready to follow. As the legal process unfolds, the evidence against Darius King is undeniable. The testimonies, the documents, and the recorded footage all paint a clear picture of corruption, manipulation, and abuse of power. What once seemed like a man untouchable, shielded by his wealth, status, and familial ties, now stands exposed in the glaring light of truth. The courtroom becomes the stage for the final act of justice, as Darius is charged and held accountable for his crimes. The tension in the air is thick as the judge presides over the proceedings, but there's a quiet sense of satisfaction among the citizens who have long suffered under his tyranny. The trial unfolds with precision and fairness, and when the verdict is delivered, it resonates like a thunderclap. Darius is found guilty, and the judgment is firm. No leniency, no special treatment, just the law, plain and simple. As the gavel strikes, Silverton feels the weight of a long-awaited reckoning. The man who thought he was untouchable is now facing the consequences of his actions. The message is loud and clear. Power and money no longer shield anyone from the truth. In a world where the powerful often bend the rules to their will, this courtroom moment is a reminder that justice, in the end, will always find its way. For the first time in a long while, Silverton can breathe easy, knowing that the law stands above all. Silverton begins to transform in the wake of Darius King's downfall, as a new culture of fairness starts to bloom. The town, once overshadowed by fear and corruption, now finds itself embracing a future built on trust and integrity. The people, empowered by the courage of Officer Robert Thompson and the legal victory that followed, begin to believe that change is possible. Where once they felt powerless, they now stand united, knowing that justice can prevail even in the smallest of communities. There's a renewed sense of hope in the air as citizens come together to rebuild the fabric of their town. The whispers of discontent that once filled the streets are replaced by conversations of progress as Silverton slowly shakes off the chains of its past. Town meetings become regular gatherings where community leaders and residents work hand in hand to ensure that the mistakes of the past are never repeated. Law enforcement is no longer feared, but respected. Officer Thompson, hailed as a hero, continues to serve with the same unwavering dedication, but now he's joined by a community that believes in the power of justice. Trust in law and order is restored, and the people of Silverton can finally see a future where the rule of law is the true force that holds the town together. Not money, not power, but fairness and integrity. The shadows that once loomed over the town are gone, replaced by the bright light of a new beginning. The moral of Silverton's transformation is clear. True strength lies in courage, fairness, and standing for what's right. Officer Robert Thompson's unwavering resolve and the town's collective decision to embrace justice over fear remind us that even in the darkest of times, integrity can bring about real change. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, leave a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more powerful tales like this one. Until next time, stay inspired and remember that standing for what's right is the strongest thing you can do.